Hey, what's up everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having a great day. Guys, in this video, I want to talk about something that has been really driving me crazy in the last weeks and got me a bit frustrated sometimes. And I just want to, share this experience with you guys and tell you exactly what it is like to do this. So what I'm talking about is my Hydra Titus team. So ever since Titus got released, a lot of people are doing high numbers in Hydra, Chimera, and so on. And that is cool, right? I really like that fact that everyone that was able to get this fusion has a chance now to up their clash score and to be somewhat able to combat all those Trunda teams. Now, Trunda teams are definitely still much better at the high end, but it is easier for the average player to build a Titus team. I actually wasn't playing when Wixwell was a fusion, but I pulled him this year, early this year. And yeah, so this is basically my team that I'm using. Firil is here for extra damage, also increased resistance. And then I have Mad Hatter in here as well for Hex and Weaken. I don't have a Titus Soul, but that's okay. I have him built in a Merciless Zeal build, and he has the Covetous Relic, which gives him additional Death Ignore. Normally people use Cat's Gaze. I use the Covetous, so I can use the Cat's Gaze on other champions. And the way this works is that Lamassu is resetting Yumeko, and Yumeko is resetting the whole team. And that's just how it goes. I stack up the shield and we do massive amounts of damage, right? So pretty basic shield comp, reset champions and stacking shields until you do massive amounts of damage. And what you here see, the 8.95 billion damage, that's not my maximum potential. With a soul or with a good run, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second because that's the whole point of this video, I can probably, get this up to like 20 billion or something, right? At this very moment, I think I cap out at like 13, 14 billion, maybe even 15 with good RNG. I don't know, but it mostly depends on RNG, right? So that's kind of like the thing that annoys me the most about a Titus team. The RNG is dictating if you are doing well or not. And that is such a huge problem, in my opinion, because it's a horrible time sink. If you want to, get a good score, you have to invest sometimes hours to restart. Like some people had to restart for like 60 times, right? To get a good RNG, to get a good score, because it's really important if you're in a top clan and you're trying to compete. You have to deliver at least the best you can do, and there's no problem with that. I'm cool with this, but the problem is that this is depending fully on RNG. And the first time, like 3 weeks ago, I used this comp. It was actually fun. I had fun building the team. I had fun using it. I restarted the runs like 16 times or something like that, like 16, 20 times. And it was okay because I was testing it. It was something new and it was fun to hit for like 300 million damage or something. And that was fine, right? That was fun. In the second week, it was already okay. Again, all right, we're going to do this again. I think I was actually pretty lucky in the second or the third week where I got pretty good RNG in the first couple runs, like 5 runs. But this week, it was actually horrible. It was so frustrating. I had to restart 46 times to get this score. And the reason for that is that if Titus gets the Devour mark after the second, like as the second champion, so you basically build one of your champions with a higher crit damage than Titus, so he gets devoured first. That way, you avoid him getting devoured first, right? And you can actually have a good run, because that's all what it comes down to. I'm using a Volcadic Heart. I'm using the Covetous on Titus, so he's depending on his buffs. If he gets devoured, he's not doing damage anymore. That's basically my problem, right? So if he gets devoured as the second champion, I can already restart. If he gets devoured as a third champion, that's a restart as well. Maybe if he gets devoured as the fourth champion, which happened here, I'm able to, or I'm accepting the key because, it's a reasonable amount of damage. Obviously, I could go much higher. So the first time when I ran this comp, he was the fifth champion that got devoured, and I did like 11 billion damage on Nightmare, right? So that was actually pretty good, but I never got it since then because I never made it to that spot again where he gets devoured as a fifth champion or a sixth or even seventh, or I never reached the turn limit even, right? So there's a lot more potential in terms of damage, but to be honest, I just don't feel like I want to spend hours and hours of retrying and resetting and doing the same thing over and over again just to get the maximum out of my comp. Obviously this is good enough, right? I'm super happy with like 9 billion damage, around 10 billion. That's my aim, right? That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I'm expecting of myself, right? And I think it's a reasonable amount of damage. Everything below that, I'm just deciding to restart, even though it costs me a lot of time. Obviously, I want to contribute to the clan. I want to make sure I do my part. And obviously, I'm not the biggest hitter, but I guess I'm doing my part. The thing is, though, it's not even only the devouring that can mess up your run. It's also a 3% chance from the mischief head to steal the buffs of your Titus. And if that happens as well, if you're lucky with the devouring, you might be unlucky with the mischief, get 3%ed. He steals all your buffs from Titus, and that's pretty much it. You can restart again. So that happened a few times as well. As I said, 46 times I had to restart, and it's such an annoying thing to do. I really hate this part about this team. I do like that Titus was available for pretty much everyone that was able to do the fusion, which is pretty much everyone that plays this game actively and knows how to do fusions. So I really like that, but running the team is such an annoying thing, especially when you do it over and over again. It gets so annoying and monotone, and it got me thinking like, what could we change to make it better, right? So the 3% chance is obviously an annoying thing, not only in the Titus comps, just in general, right? You can build your champions with so much accuracy or resistance, but sometimes it just doesn't matter because there's this 3% chance, and it can happen all the time, and sometimes it feels like a 50% chance even. So what can we change to make this better in the game? Let me know in the comments below if you have some ideas. So I do have an idea that, it was just a thought while I was running this comp over and over again. I was like, why can't we save the damage, right? So imagine we could run this team, do our personal best, and then just save the personal best and use it for future, clash scores. That way, you don't have to run the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. It's boring, right? At some point, it is boring. I did enjoy it the first time, right? The first 2 weeks, it was cool. It was refreshing. It was, a nice experience to do high numbers. But after that, you don't really want to have to invest such a huge amount of time for the same thing over and over again. And I think this is really a problem. So what if the game would allow us to save a certain damage that you do on a clan boss, which you can just, reuse the next week or for future clashes? That way, you only have to run this team again if you want to improve your personal best, right? So it's not like you're not going to run it anymore, but you also don't have to run it if you don't have the time for it, for example, or something. And there are a lot of people out there that they just don't have the time to do it over and over again, and losing patience while they are doing it and just keeping, whatever they feel like is okay to keep. And that's pretty much what I'm doing, right? So this is not the maximum amount of damage I can do, but it's an amount that I'm comfortable with, so I kept it. But what if I could save this and just reuse it next week again? And whenever I feel like it, or when I have the time for it, I can try to improve my personal best and then reuse that again until I want to improve my personal best again. So I think that's a pretty good idea. The only problem that I see with this would be if something gets nerfed, and some people do still have like damage saved up with a certain team, but that team got nerfed and it shouldn't do that much anymore. But there are also solutions for that. You could just reset all the keys, and everybody has to manual it for once again, which is better than manualing every single week for hours and hours. That's just my opinion. And I think something has to be changed about this, because it's too much. It's an insane time sink, and I really hate this about this comp. As much as I love it, that's really the one thing that I hate. Like, it's just too much based on RNG. But yeah, it's definitely complaining on a high level, right? Like, I have, I'm pretty fortunate with the champions I have and the comp, and that I'm able to do this damage. To be honest, I was really lucky to get some of these champions and the Volcardiac Heart Relic, which helps a lot with my score, but I value my time more than anything, right? And fun fact, I started recording exactly on my 47th run. So this is my 47th run that I also kept, right? So the 46 times before that, I was just not thinking about it. But after the 46th try, I thought, hey, I should maybe start recording this. This could be funny, just to show how many times Titus gets devoured as the second target. So it was insane. But this time, Yumiko is the first. Then it's Mad Hatter. After Mad Hatter, it was Lamassu. After Lamassu, it was Titus. So Titus got devoured as the fourth champion. And yeah, that's pretty much a score that I ended up with almost 9 billion damage. And you can actually see with Titus getting the devour mark, I did 2 billion damage until he got devoured. So every devour is basically 2 billion damage for my comp, right? So if he gets devoured as the fifth, I would do 2 billion more. If he gets devoured as the sixth, I would do 4 billion more, and so on. And yeah, pretty interesting, to be honest, but I just don't have the patience or the motivation to do this every week to, hit the turn limit. But I also think we shouldn't be forced to retry it over and over again because of RNG. That's just one thing that I don't like about it. And I think saving damage from keys would definitely help with this problem. I don't know how difficult it is to implement that, but I don't think it is, impossible. But yeah, 35 billion, almost 36 billion clash points just from this Titus team. This is more than I ever did in total before I ran this Titus comp. And overall, I'm happy with that, right? That we have a Titus team. I just want to make that clear. The thing that is really annoying me is the RNG factor. And I think most players that use a Titus comp in Hydra are agreeing with this. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Just my 2 cents about Titus. I haven't done a Titus video. This is actually my first one. If you're interested in my comp, I can definitely show that maybe in another video. But let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this? What do you think? I'm pretty sure we're pretty much all on the same side. If not, let me know if you have ideas how to fix this time issue or RNG issue. Also, share your ideas in the comments. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. And the algorithm is going to suggest you a video that you might like right here. And see you in the next one.